Well, if you're here, it's because you want to learn how to create landing pages with artificial intelligence, and that's exactly what I'm going to teach you right now. I'm going to explain how you can learn to create high-converting landing pages with artificial intelligence using our Ecom Magic AI platform. So I'm going to click on the landing page generator, and I'll explain in great detail how our landing page generator works. In this case, as you can see on the screen, we have several folders. And there are several folders because obviously this isn't a new account. It's an account that already has several products created here, which is why you see all these folders. However, when you log in here, you'll find this empty, and you'll just click here on Create a New Product, and a new product will be created where you'll manage and store all the graphic assets and all your landing pages. So we're going to give it a name here. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to use a product called Lemmiburn, which is quite viral on TikTok Shop. And that's exactly what we want, to see how it works, how a landing page comes together with a brand's visual identity, so you can see how our tool works. So let's create our Lemmiburn product. And once we create our product, you enter the landing page generator and you'll see this panel, you'll see this tool. Basically, you'll be able to see the landing page generator here and start working. And here at the bottom of the landing page generator, all the graphic assets for the landing page sections we're going to create will start being generated and added. And here you'll also be able to assemble your landing pages. So if we go back, as you can see, there are several folders, and basically you'll create a folder for each product where all these graphic assets and those specific landing pages for that product will be managed and stored. In this case, here are the tools. I'll explain it to you easily. It's a very easy, simple tool to use. All we have to add is between 1 and 3 reference photos of our product. After that, we have to select a reference template for each landing page section, and then we select a predominant background color for our landing page, if we want to. It's optional. We select an output format for each of the landing page sections of the graphic asset and the language itself in which we want to develop this landing page. Additionally, we have a couple of options here at the bottom. We mainly have 2 models with which you can generate these landing page sections, these graphic assets. We have our own model, which is Ecom Magic, and we have the GPT Image 2 model, which is some new we implemented because it's also working quite well for creating graphic assets. Finally, we have an option here that says landing page customization. If we click here on landing page customization, a series of options will appear where we can give the AI much more context to generate a landing page or generate landing page sections in a very specific way with a specific context. What can we add here? We can add characteristics of a character. If that landing page has characters within the graphic assets, we'll be able to select these physical traits of that character. So you can select the nationality of that character, the gender, whether it's male, female, or if you want it to be a mix of men and women within the graphic assets, and the age range. What else do we have down here? Most importantly, we'll be able to give context to our product, all the product details, features, benefits, anything we want to highlight about our product. Additionally, we can add the sales angle, which is very important. The sales angle on which we want to develop this entire landing page, the specific problem that sales angle addresses, the avatar or specific audience we want to reach through this landing page and target that sales angle. And finally, how the product becomes an ideal solution for this type of avatar and any other additional instructions we want. We can add, an instruction where we say, I want the character to have these traits, I want this color palette, I want this title, and so on. Any kind of additional instruction that you want to add, you can do it right here. So let's start creating our landing page. Now that I've explained the panel, let's start creating that landing page. So here we're going to add a photo reference of our product. In this case, as I mentioned, I'm going to select a product we found on TikTok Shop that's quite viral called Lemmiburn, which is this one right here, a weight loss supplement. So we can add between 1 and 3 reference images. Just one very good reference image is enough to create a great landing page, a great sales page. In fact, in this example, we're only going to use 1 photo to do it. What else do we need to do? We need to add context so that the landing page has context, so that the landing page is targeted to a specific niche. So here we have an option that says develop sales angle with artificial intelligence. If we click on this button, a generic or general sales angle will be developed. Let's say it's the main sales angle for the product. What the AI will do here is analyze this photo, research this product on the internet, understand it, and fill out these fields. Look, we already have the information here, but it's in English. Let's switch it back to Spanish so it gives us the context in Spanish. We're going to develop our landing page in Spanish, and all these details will be added automatically. The AI is going to fill this out for me, so you can do it this way. It's quite simple. Here are the product details, the sales angle, the specific problem, the avatar or target audience, and how the product is an ideal solution. Once you fill this out, what do you have to do? We've already filled this out. It's ready. In fact, it even added the avatar's profile here. Colombian nationality, female, 25 to 35 years old. We have all the context now. What else do we need to do, guys? Now we have to select the sections, the landing page templates we want to create. So we click here on templates, and as you can see, a series of templates will appear with a landing page structure. We have a hero section, offer, before and after, benefits, comparison tables, social proof, testimonials, how to use, logistics, and FAQ. Why is there only one product in these templates? Don't worry, that's just how our tool works. Since we have different templates and we want you to be able to see the difference in the various designs. If I showed you templates for different products, it would be hard for you to visualize and understand the difference between the designs of those landing page sections. So that you can see the different designs, that's why we have just one product as a reference. But this product adapts to any niche. It could be jewelry, home products, beauty, or health. These templates adapt to any niche because that's precisely one of the main features of our platform. And that is, our model works with these templates and adapts them to any product in any niche without any problem. All right, just so you're clear on that. So what are we going to do here? We can generate each of the graphic pieces, selecting and generating them one by one, or we can generate pieces in bulk. In this case, I'm going to do it in bulk. So I click on this button down here that says bulk generation. We'll do bulk generation, and here I select the number of graphic pieces. I'm going to select 10 graphic pieces and start selecting my hero section, my offer, before and after. I'm going to select each of the landing page sections and start creating each of these pieces to later assemble that landing page. Let's say I like, for example, I like this hero section. I select it. Then I go to the offer section, and for example, let's say I like this offer section. I select it. Then, for example, I like this before and after. So I go to before and after and select this one. Then I go to benefits, and I can select a couple of benefit templates. Let's say I like this one, for example. I like this one. I select 2 benefit templates. Then I go to the comparison table. I select the comparison table. Let's say I like this comparison table, so I select this one. Let's say I like this selection. Next, we'll go to authority proof. I'll select a template, an authority proof template. Then I'll go to testimonials. I can select a couple of testimonial pieces. Let's go, for example, with this one here and this one here. That's 9. And we'll add another how to use template. Now we have our 10 templates. Now we can do another bulk generation and create our logistics and FAQ section. And there are some other sections we might want to repeat to have more options for choosing how to assemble our landing page. So here we've already selected the 10 templates. And then this section appears here where the AI basically tells us we're ready to generate these 10 sections, and I just have to click to generate these 10 landing page sections. How many credits does it use? Each landing page section uses 1 credit. That's why since we're going to create 10 pieces, 10 landing page sections, the tool is telling me here that we'll use 10 credits because it's a bulk generation. I can also generate them one by one. I can definitely do that, yes. In this case, I want to do a bulk generation. So I'm going to click here on generate the 10 landing page sections. And once I click here, a job will be created down here at the bottom, where I'll be able to keep working on the platform, doing things while these landing page sections are being created. This will likely take between 6 and 10 minutes, depending on the complexity of the graphics. It takes approximately 40 to 60 seconds per graphic. And those graphics, those landing page sections, will start appearing down here at the bottom. So while this generates, we're going to cut the video for a moment so you can see the results while those 10 minutes pass. All right, everyone, about 6 or 7 minutes have passed. And as you can see, our landing page sections have already been generated down here at the bottom. And they're separated here. Each of the landing page sections by landing page section category. Here we have our hero section, we have our offer section, before and after section, the 2 benefit sections, a comparison table, authority proof, testimonials, and how to use. Here we have our 10 landing page sections. What are we going to do now? I'm going to generate some additional sections that we didn't get to generate in that first generation of 10 slides because that was the limit the platform gives me. Here it's zoomed in a bit more so you can see those landing page sections. We'll download them and look at them in a bit, but as you can see, they're incredible graphics, right? You can see the graphics here. They're very premium, high level, and they eventually have the brand's DNA and color palette. The tool extracts the DNA, extracts the brand's color palette, understands it, and generates all the graphics with that brand DNA. What are we going to do now? I'm going to generate another series of templates. Let's say I like to generate 2 or 3 hero sections to choose from, and we still need to generate the logistics and FAQ section. So here we're going to do another bulk generation. In this case, I'll do 6 more sections. So I'll go to hero section. I'll select another couple of hero section templates. I'll select this one, for example, and this one here, for example. Then I'll go to the logistics section. I'll select the logistics section. Let's say I like this one. Let's select this section. Now I like this one better. This logistics section, an FAQ section, or a couple of FAQ sections. So I'm going to select this FAQ section, for example, and this other one to be able to choose between them. And I'm missing one more slide from the 6 I chose. So we're going to select another third hero section to choose from these. So I've already selected my 6 additional templates, and I'm going to do another bulk generation, which will take about another 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm going to show you how all the graphics look so we can choose from all these graphics and assemble our landing page. All right, everyone, about another 4 minutes have passed, and we already have all the other 6 sections developed. And here we already have a total of 6 hero sections. As you can see here, we have 6 hero sections. We have an offer section that I like. We have a before and after that's also it has a pretty good graphic, very high quality, which I like a lot. 2 benefit sections, a comparison table, an authority proof, 2 testimonials, and a usage mode, logistics section, and finally we have frequently asked questions here. We already have all the graphic pieces. We have all the sections to assemble our landing page. Now then, what can we do? Validate, review those graphic pieces, and make some corrections. For example, let's say I want to make a correction. It's surely a question that you're asking yourselves. How can I correct something? You can do this in our editor. There's an editor here where you can edit using natural language. Let's say I want to change one of these prices. I just go to the editor and use a natural language. I tell the AI what I want to change. Here, for example, I'm going to write, I want to change the price for 3 units from $249,900 to $219,900. For example, I'm saying literally what I want to be changed in the graphic piece. And I click on Apply Edit. And that's it, guys. The AI has just finished the edit and it's showing me the before and after. As you can see in this piece, the integrity of the piece is 100% maintained. And it only made the price adjustment that I asked for. There's maximum consistency in the adjustment. So I'm going to save the edit. And as you can see here, the price went from $249,900 to $210,900, $919,900, which is what I asked for, maintaining the exact consistency of the piece. So this is how you can make edits. You can change the character, ask it to change a word, change a price. Any type of edit can be done with natural language from our platform. So at this point, gentlemen, we already have all our landing sections here, and we can now assemble that landing page. Here I have all the hero sections to choose from. Offer, before and after. You can review these landing sections, make corrections, and once you're ready to assemble your landing page, what you'll do is click on this button that says Assemble Landing. And when you click on Assemble Landing, there's an instruction here. Select the graphic pieces in the order you want to assemble this landing page. Here, I'm going to select one of these hero sections. Honestly, the one I liked was the first one. I'll select this one, then this offer section, then this before and after section. For the benefits, I'm going to use both, so I'll select the 2 benefits sections. I'll select both benefits, the comparison table, proof of authority, and the 2 testimonial sections. Usage mode, logistics, and finally frequently asked questions. Let's say I like this one better than that one, so we'll leave this frequently asked questions one. And that's it. Once we select the graphic pieces, we'll click here where it says Assemble Landing, and the tool will take about 30 to 60 seconds to create that landing page. And up here, we'll see a new section that says Assemble Landings. We'll see a mock-up of a cell phone where we'll see our landing page, and we can open it and add any edits we want. All right, gentlemen, a minute has passed, and as you can see, this new section of Assemble Landings has appeared. I have my landing sections below, and here I have that landing page. Here I can see a cell phone mock-up where I can see how this landing page looks assembled. I can visualize it here, and not only can I visualize it, but I can change the name. I can give it a title too. I don't know, save my assets in an organized way. Sales angle number 1, 2, landing 1, landing 2, whatever you want. And I can see that landing page here in a much wider format. Its pop-up opens and the mock-up enlarges. And here I can see how that landing page looks. Look, here's the landing page, and I can see how that assembled landing page turned out. I can make additional edits. If I want, I can already send this landing page to Shopify. If I just want it to be a landing page like this one and then finish making the edits in Shopify, I can send it to Shopify. Of course, to be able to send this landing page to Shopify, I must already have Shopify integrated, for which we have a tutorial. On the left panel, I'm going to show you where you can do it. There's an integration section. Go to integrations, integrate your store. There are very detailed tutorials, even a PDF guide so you can do it. It's quite simple. So that once your Shopify store is integrated, well, this button appears and you can send this landing to Shopify. And this landing page is set up in your Shopify stores. What edits can we make here? For example, we can add an announcement bar at the top. We can add a bundle section, we can add a CTA or several CTAs throughout the landing sections. Or on the landing, we can add connectors, we can add authority proof sections, floating buttons, we could even change or add sections. So in this case, we're going to start editing this landing. I'll edit it directly from our Ecom Magic AI. I'm going to add all these elements and then I'll save this landing. I'll send it to Shopify, ready to be fully set up on Shopify. So let's get started. What's the first thing I'm going to do, folks? The first thing I'll do is an announcement bar. So I'll click here on Add Announcement Bar. And here my announcement bar was added. Look, here, it has a default message that says cash on delivery plus free shipping. I can modify it from here. I can change the background color, the typography, the letters. Here, I can basically do all the settings for that announcement bar that's at the top. So here, I've already added this announcement bar. Let's say I want to keep that message as the default. Here, I'll lower the typography size a bit and save the changes. Run. See that the bar, here in the bar, I can even define if I want this bar to be fixed or if I want it not to be fixed and move with the scroll. In this case, I'll leave it, for example, so it's not fixed. Let's save it. What else can we add? I'm going to add here, notice that this landing section of this hero section and this other offer landing section, they don't really connect that well, right? It doesn't look so harmonious. So here I can add a connector. That's what connectors are for. So let's add a connector between the first and landing section. First to second section, the landing section, and I have different types of connectors. I can add a highlighted text, which is basically this bar with this text. I can change the background, put here, I don't know, 50% discount, offer valid only for today, buy one, get one. A highlighted text that I want that makes the change between the two landing sections much more harmonious. What other thing can I do? I can add a gradient if, let's say in the case that both landings have a background color and it's different, I can add this connector and make a gradient between the background color of the top section and the bottom one. In this case, it wouldn't work because I have an image and here I have another character. So the gradient wouldn't work. Then add this connector. Or I can also perfectly, in this case, I'm going to delete it. I can add an element that is an authority proof. So this authority proof, basically I can add here one of these bars, which is an authority proof for media outlets. In this case, they are international media outlets or from the United States rather. And here we have another one from Colombia. Since this product will likely be sold in Colombia, it's a tutorial more suited to the Colombian market. I'm going to change to this authority proof section of local media outlets. I can do it on a white background, looks quite good. I can even change the background. And here I go to the eyedropper and select a background tone that could be the one from the piece above so it's more integrated. And I can make that authority proof section have a specific background color. Let's say I like it, I'm going to save it, and here I am building my landing. Notice that here, for example, between the section of the offer and the before and after section, they fit perfectly. It looks visually very harmonious, so I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to put any connector. Even almost all these graphic pieces already assemble very well, but I want to add some calls to action, so I'm going to add here a call to action of a buy button. I can add it and put it here, and I can put several buy buttons in the middle of the landing sections, right? To increase conversion, another thing you could do is add a floating button. In this case, I'm going to add a floating button, right? I've added it here, and you can see that I now have the call to action present throughout the entire landing page. It's an alternative. I can add a floating button, and you see it looks very aesthetic and very premium. So I've added my floating button. Now I can configure it. I'll click here. I can change the call to action. For example, I could put, yes, I want it, right? We can set this call to action. I can change the background color, the text color, and I can also change the bar's background color. Let's say the bar here is white. If I want it to be a bit more aesthetic and aligned, though white doesn't look bad at all, I can click here and select the eyedropper. And here we can change the background color, see? So it looks much more aligned with the landing page. Actually, in this case, for this authority section, I like how white looks better. I'll change it to white. It looks a bit cooler. And I can leave the bar pink here. Now I have my call to action. I can configure the call to action. Pay attention to this. There's an option here that says what happens on click. And here in what happens on click, I can define what action that button performs. And I have different options. Start a Shopify checkout. If I'm doing an upfront payment and want to use the native Shopify checkout, add the Shopify cart. Or I can also open a release form. We know that here in Latin America, most people sell with cash on delivery. And to sell with cash on delivery, they use release, which is a form. So I can select release, and when a user clicks, the release form will open. Or I can add a custom URL. In this case, I'm going to add the release form. Here it is. I'll save my changes, and that's how my landing page is looking. This is what I'll send to Shopify, what I'll export, and this is how the assembled landing page will look. Here's my announcement bar. Here's my authority proof, which works as a connector. Here are the other sections of the landing page. They fit together perfectly. I have a call to action, and if I wanted to add more calls to action, well, I could even add more calls to action here. So I'll show you how to do it. I'll click here on CTA, I'll put it between slides 3 and 4, and here's this call to action, see? And I can configure it. So here I can also set a background color so it's perfectly integrated. So I'll click here on the bar's background color, select the eyedropper, and pick either the tone from the section below or the one above. I'll pick the one above, and you see the button is now perfectly integrated. And here we can save the changes. And now we can configure the call to action. I can change the name, I can change it, leave it as buy now, or change it to yes, I want it, just like the one below. In this case, I'll leave it as buy now. And I'll go here to the part that says what happens on click, and I'll configure it the same way to open the release form. Again, from an upfront payment, I'll set it to go to the Shopify checkout or the cart. In this case, I'll do it for cash on delivery with the release button. I'll save the changes, and I can keep adding these calls to action throughout the landing page. Oh, I want to add another one of these buttons. I can just go here, click duplicate the button, and then move it down. I'll put it at the bottom, eventually a bit further down, not so close. We can put it here. Look, we have a call to action here, another one here. We still have the sticky add to cart. We can duplicate that call to action again and just put it further down, right? I can put a call to action every 2 sections of the landing page, for example, and it'll look pretty good. In this case, you see the background color is configured for the section above. So here, I'll change the button bar's background color so it matches the background color of the section below and looks perfectly integrated. We can do that, or I can also make it match the one above. Either option works to make the button look more naturally integrated. Let's say I wanted to integrate with the section above. See, there, it's perfectly integrated. We save changes. And here I have my landing. It's perfectly built. I added several calls to action throughout the landing. I added a sticky add to cart, a floating button, and I also added an announcement bar. I can add another landing section. I can change a landing section from here if I want to change it. I can move it down, move it up. But basically here I can edit my landing and modify it however I want. In this case, we already have the landing 100% ready, as you can see. And now what I'll have to do? The only thing I have to do is click on Send to Shopify. So let's click on Send. The stores are located here. You can have more than one integrated store. So I'm going to click here on this store, which is the one we have as an integrated test. And I can decide between 2 alternatives. Create a new product in Shopify or link it to an existing product. In this case, I'm going to create a new product and I'll name the product in Shopify. I'm going to name it Let Me Burn Test. Or let's call it Let Me Burn Tutorial. To be able to identify it easily when I go to Shopify, I'll name it Tutorial and we'll click on Publish, and since the store is already integrated, basically in a matter of seconds this landing will be published on Shopify. Let's say that what's being done right now is that the product will be created in Shopify and the landing will also be created and the product will be integrated with that landing. And best of all, everything I'm going to show you now is that the landing will be 100% integrated with your themes and it will be fully editable. You can edit it in Shopify or you can edit it from our editor. Recommendation to edit it from our editor if you want to make some changes in one of these sections you integrated, or if you want to add an additional section that you have within the template of your Shopify templates. Let's say you have a template, a theme like Shrine or any other theme that has premium sections. You can from Shopify add any section you want to add to that theme. The landing has already been published. Now it basically tells me that it's already published on Shopify. So let's go to Shopify and see how that landing looks. Allow me a moment while Shopify opens. Done. Shopify just opened. I have this test store again. So I'm going to go here to products. And if I go to products, here I'll find that a new product was created. Look, here it says, Let Me Burn Tutorial. The product was created here. And if I click on this product, well, here I can already do the configuration, for example, of the variants or variations. Variations, the price, here was created with a price of 0, but I can configure the price from here. Eventually, if I already have relas, I have to have relas already configured within Shopify, installed in my theme, so that the relas call to action works. Ready? So the product was created here. If I click here on view, you'll see that here we'll be able to visualize that landing. Here we have the desktop version. Here you can see it. Let me hide this bar. Here's the desktop version. Eventually, well, this is optimized for the mobile version, right? But the desktop version still remains navigable. It can also be consumed. Let's see how the web version looks. So I'm going to click here on this small extension that allows me to visualize how that web version looks. This is how our landing looks. I want you to see this. It's already mounted on Shopify. This is already the domain of my Shopify store. It's integrated with my product. This is already my landing. Look here. I have the landing on Shopify. Here you can already see the calls to action. You can see all the landing sections. It looks very well integrated, very premium. And if I click on any of these calls to action, what does it do? The release form is triggered. Why? Because I already have it installed. It's important that you first have release installed, have it configured, and have it installed in your theme. It has to be installed in the theme. And if it's already installed, you don't have to do any additional configuration. With release installed and correctly configured in Shopify, just by knowing how to set up the calls to action within our platform, all the calls to action are now perfectly configured and open the release form. See how each of these calls to action opens release? You can see it here. And we have an incredible landing page. What's the best part, Dallas? I'm going to show you something super interesting now. If I go here to online store, right? I'll go to the editor for my store's template. I'm going to see what the tool did. What the tool did was create a template inside of my Shopify theme. So here I am inside this theme, which is a test theme. And if I click here and go to products, I find that it created a specific template for my product. That says, let me burn tutorial with the name I gave it. If I click here, I'll be able to view that template. Here I have it in the Shopify editor. See how clean this template was created in Shopify? Here in the left panel, I have each of the sections perfectly created, and I can configure them. I can do it from my editor, or if I click here on the announcement bar, I find that I have all the announcement bar settings here. And from here, I can do everything. It's extremely clean. You don't need to know code. It's already configured as additional sections within your template, and it works the same way with each of the other sections. Let's say, look, I'm in the connector here. I can see all the connector settings. I can modify them, the landing sections, the sticky add to cart, the floating button. I can see it here. I can configure it. Look, absolutely everything is here. I can change the call to action from here. See if I wanted to call the form now. If I wanted to go to Shopify, I can do absolutely everything from here. So what's the important part? The important thing about this, why we work so hard to achieve this, is very important to us that you can edit from here, that it's very clean. And we also know that many of you have Shopify themes that you buy that have a lot of elements and tools, right? That work for conversion, that increase your conversion rate, that you use. So if you follow a theme that has different sections, you can integrate e-reviews or Shrine, which has a lot of elements. You simply click here on Add section, and here you'll be able to see all the sections of the theme. In this case, we're using a basic Shopify theme, but these are the sections of the Shopify theme. Let's say I want to add a TikTok carousel or some testimonials, a banner, any of the options that my Shopify template has. I can do it here. Let's say I want to display a collapsible content. Pardon the redundancy. I click here and see that this collapsible content is now integrated into my landing page, and I can configure it. And I can improve that landing page even more. And to achieve this, we worked very hard. It cost us a lot. I have to admit it, but we did. So here you have the landing page in Shopify. This is how the landing page can be viewed now. It looks very top-notch, very premium. You can make edits from Shopify, or you can make edits directly within our editor. So that's what I wanted to show you. If you want to create a high-converting landing page with artificial intelligence, you can do it through our Ecom Magic platform. Honestly, it's amazing. You can create different versions of landing pages. You can create a landing page for each sales angle, test different landing pages to see which one converts better. You can do it and have multiple versions of landing pages here. So that's it, guys. That's what I wanted to show you in this video tutorial. I hope you like it, that you apply it, and if you have any questions or concerns, at the bottom right side of the platform, you'll find a WhatsApp button where you can contact our support team if you have any questions, concerns, if there's a glitch in the platform, something you want to report, or if you're simply having a challenge or problem using the tool, just write to us and we'll be very attentive to you to support you in whatever you need.